This is week 14, Tuesday. Okay, I see the first question says, what is the value of the 7 in 3,927,249? So I have it written, and I'm going to put it in a double HTO chart. So here I have my hundreds, tens, ones, my hundred thousands, my 10,000s, my 1,000s, and my millions place. I can see that the 7 is in the 1,000s place. So the value is then 7,000. It's worth 7 1,000s. All right, the second question says, what is the difference between 10,921 and 8,977? I know the word difference means subtract. So I'm going to come over here. 1 minus 7, I can't do, there's not enough. So I need to regroup from my neighbor. 10 plus 1 is 11, not 10. 11 minus 7 equals 4. Again, 1 minus 7, I can't, so I need to borrow from my neighbor. 11 minus 7, again, is 4. Well, since I just brought this number down, I have to go the whole way over. This turns into a 10, but I still need to borrow. This turns into a 9. This turns into 18. 18 minus 9 is double stacked, it's 9. And then 9 minus 8 is 1. So I see the difference is 1,944. I'm looking at these numbers. This is nearly 11,000. This is nearly 9,000. So 11 minus 9 equals 10. And since this, equals 2. And since this is nearly 2,000, I think this is a pretty good answer. Okay, the next question says, what is the greatest common factor of 28, 45, and 42? I know factors are two numbers multiplied together to give you a product. So I'm going to list all the ways I can make 28. Of course, a factor, the first factor is always 1 times itself. I know 2 is a factor. 2 times 14, because if I chop these two numbers in half, it will be 1 and a 4. 3 is not a factor. I'm listing my multiples in my head. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. There's no room for a 28 in there. 4 is not a factor. Oh, sorry, just kidding. It is a factor. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28 is a factor. 4 is a factor, so I'm counting how many times I just skip counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 4 times 7. 5 is definitely not a factor. 6, let's list our multiples of 6. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. No room for 28. And now we know 7 is a factor, but I've already listed it, so I can move forward. Alright, always a factor is 35 times 1. 2 is not a factor, it's an odd number. 3 is not a factor. Let's list our multiples just to be sure. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36. No room for a 35 in there. 4 is not a factor. If I kept going over here, 32, 36. 5 is a factor. There's a 5 or a 0. 5 times 7. Let's see, 6 is not a factor. I can continue this list over here. 30, 36, 42. So there's no room in there for a 35. And then 7 is a factor, but I've already listed it. And I'm noticing a trend. 7 and 7, 1 and 1 are common. I still have one more list to do, though. 1 and 42, 2 and 21. If I chop this in half, half of 4 is 2, half of 1 is 1, half of 2 is 1, so 2 times 21. Let's see, is 3 a factor? Let's keep listing over here. 39, 42. So I know that the last place I left off was 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 3 times 14. 5 is not a factor. 4 is not a factor. I know this because 40 is my 4 times 10 fact. 44 is my 4 times 11 fact. There's no room for a 42. 5 is not a factor because 0 or 5 is not in the ones place. Is 6 a factor? Yes, it is. 6 times 7, and 7 is the factor, I just listed it. Again, I see 7 is a factor, a common factor, 1 is a common factor, 5 is not, 2 is not, 3 is not, 6 is not. So 7 is my GCF. Last question. A farmer planted corn and beans. He planted 28 rows of 36 corn seeds and 47 rows of 36 bean seeds. How many seeds were planted? I hear 2 questions. I need to multiply. Those are my 2. And then there's a third question. How many seeds were planted in all? It's an addition problem. So I'm going to show both ways, the algorithm and the box. So 28 times 36, this is how many corn plants he planted. 8 times 6 is 48. Carry my 4, and I'm adding my addition sign. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 4 more is 16. I'm putting my placeholder in. 3 times 8 is 24. Carry my 2, Xing this out so I know I'm done with it. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 more is 8. And now I'm adding these 2 partial products. 8 plus 0 is 8. 6 plus 4 is 10. 8 plus 1 plus 1 is 10. So I see corn is 1008. And now here's my beans question. And I'm drawing my connecting lines. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 1, 2 zeros equals 1,200. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 1 0 is 240. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 1 0, 210. And 7 times 6 is 42, plus no zeros. Now I'm going to pull over and add all my partial products. Check, check. I know I'm done with those. Check, check. Okay. 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 2. 4 plus 1 plus 4. I know 4 plus 1 is 5, plus 4 more is 9. 2, 4, 6, and 1. Uh-oh, I have a problem. Oh no, just kidding, I don't. Okay, so these 2 need added together because the final question was how many did he plant in all? 1,692 bean plants and 1,008 corn plants. 2 plus 8 is 10, 9 plus 1 is 10, 6 plus 1 is 7, and 1 plus 1 is 2. So 2,700 plants in all. That's all.